Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, today I have Sonny Sultani on the line, and he's Chief Growth Officer over at 120 over 80. Sonny, welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be on.
All right, man. So I'm excited to get into this topic with you. A lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives listening right now, and a lot of them want to know how to generate leads on LinkedIn. And I know you're the guy for that, so we're going to get into that. But before we do, let's get a little bit further into your business. Tell us a little bit more about 120 over 80.
Yeah, absolutely. So 120 over 80 is a digital marketing agency specializing in a broad range of digital marketing services used to drive the internet and search marketing efforts for B2B and local professional services.
What are the typical types and or niches of businesses that you typically like working with, or that are usually a good fit for 120 over 80?
So we like to stay with companies that are basically B2B, so those serving other businesses. And the slew of businesses that we've been working with now have been range from software as a service, manufacturers, OEMs, and a lot of professional services, so accountants, lawyers, things of that nature.
Fantastic. So that brings us to today's topic. So how small business owners can generate leads on LinkedIn. I mean, where do you want to begin with this one?
Well, LinkedIn's fascinating, isn't it? I mean, and I heard the statement just the other day. There's, especially given that we're in this pandemic right now, that your only security is in your network. And LinkedIn is a great place for business development reps and business owners to really build on their network. So I really like LinkedIn as a place to pull from right now, especially when budgets are a little bit tighter.
So, I know you work with a lot of service professionals. Can you give some examples of how some of the business owners and entrepreneurs listening to this right now should be thinking about using LinkedIn, their profile, and really making that approach? Because I know that's one of your specialties.
Absolutely. So, I think really it boils down to making sure it's clear what you do, how you do it, and what really separates you from your competitors, and making sure that subject line, that picture that you have, the description that you have, all are clear and concise. I see a lot of profiles of small business owners that just ignore these little pieces, and they go to connect with someone, and that person who they're connecting with isn't really sure why they want to connect. And so making it all clear is part of the process, I guess.
So I know we're not going to have time on this show to obviously go through your whole process, and if we did, we still wouldn't. Why? Because we want the listeners to follow up with you so they can also work with you over at 120 over 80. But that being said, what are some tips on how some of the listeners listening right now can that low hanging fruit and how they can go on LinkedIn and get some leads?
Absolutely. So my company specializes in automation for LinkedIn. And what we do is we help to define and create a list of qualified prospects to target. And then once we have that best fit client defined, we use Sales Navigator to create that list. We write out tested and targeted outreach messages. So connection, request all the way down to a few, thank you message all the way down to a few follow-up messages. And then we try to send out between 50 and 100 of those connection requests daily on behalf of the client. So that's our approach.
And what kind of response have you gotten from some of the businesses or companies that you work with? Because I know LinkedIn works. I know it's a great way for people to connect. I mean, what have your clients said?
I get a lot of surprises. People think, oh, this is spammy, this is not going to work, and then they give it a try because the price point's so low, and they're surprised that they get a meeting or they get people wanting to engage, and it's a pleasant conversation because, we get a lot. So I'll give you an example. We have an accounting firm right now. I think we've sent out just over 1,000 connection requests, and if I'm reading this right, he's received 28 responses back with engagement. So it may not sound like a lot, but if you're an accountant in your first month and you get 28 people interested in your services, that may be significant for you.
That's a lot. I mean, that's huge. You figure out of that 28, let's say that depending on, obviously, let's say they get a couple clients out of that. You add that up over the course of a year, you have, 20, 30 more clients from one particular channel. It's not saying you can't get more, but just saying if you do from one channel, you combine that with your other marketing efforts, I mean, that becomes significant over time.
Absolutely. And you know what? Even if you don't get a prospect to become a lead today, remember this lives inside your LinkedIn ecosystem now. And so anything you post, tomorrow, it goes on the feed of everyone connected with you. So there's constant interactivity here.
That's awesome. So, Sonny, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information or to connect with you and your team over at 120 over 80, what's the best way for them to follow up and to reach out?
Well, I love talking to people, so if they just call me, that's the best approach. I'll give you my phone number. It's 312-854-2447. And that number is 312-854-2447. But if you want to just head over to my website, it's 120over80.com.
Fantastic. Well, Sonny, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about the work you're doing over at 120 over 80, and also how business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives can go on LinkedIn and get leads. So I think it's a great service you're doing. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and businesses that you're working on. And Sonny, thanks again for coming on the show.